It appears Unrivaled has gotten its answer, and Caitlin Clark is out.
Unrivaled just announced their rosters for this upcoming season while simultaneously pulling off the biggest troll in sports.
The fact that Caitlin Clark turned down a $2 million contract from an Unrivaled League stunned fans.
This was the November 20th deadline that, if you guys remember a few weeks ago, Nafisa Collier said that by November 20th, all the players would be announced and we would get the official lineups for each team.
Basketball fans have been wondering what went wrong with Unrivaled publicizing her inclusion for months, and now the league's survival is in jeopardy after ESPN confirmed this unexpected statement. Could this choice spell disaster for their first season? This is huge.
Unrivaled did the funniest thing last night that got a lot of us in.
Fans are completely taken aback when the news is confirmed. In addition to being life-altering money, Caitlin Clark believes that this $2 million for 10 weeks of play is historic for women's basketball. However, the golden girl of women's basketball has declined what many consider to be a once-in-a-lifetime chance.
Why?
Is this really happening? She asked.
Just last night, Unrivaled put out this letter where they said, "Dear management, what might seem like an average Wednesday in November is in fact a momentous occasion. Okay. A momentous occasion for those who follow women's professional basketball. Please excuse blank from 11 a.m. to 11:22 a.m. Eastern time so that they can watch Unrivaled's basketball club selection presented by State."
Unrivaled was designed to be the next big thing in women's basketball. A fast-paced 3-on-1 league with a stellar roster, excitement, and inventiveness. Let's be honest, Caitlin Clark was meant to be the main attraction from the beginning. The league made mysterious promotional ads that seemed to yell, "Clark is coming," and subtly hinting at her jersey number 22 to tease fans as part of their marketing strategy. But when the roster was revealed, ESPN revealed the shocking information instead of her name. Unrivaled will not be accompanying Caitlin Clark.
Goes on to say 11 a.m. once again, and at the very end reminds you once again 11 a.m. to 11:22 a.m. Eastern time. Now, the whole thing about this Unrivaled League is when they are announcing new players, they have always done like a teaser video before they announce the players. They've always been about doing little mysteries or Easter eggs or trying to get people to like guess who was gonna join Unrivaled.
There are numerous factors to take into account. Let's begin by dissecting the funds. Unrivaled reportedly promised Clark $2 million for just 10 weeks of play, or $200,000 every week. To put that in context, the typical WNBA player makes roughly $120,000 a year. Additionally, it is said that Clark was offered league equity. Yes, in addition to being a player, she would also be a part owner. Why, therefore, would she decline such a generous offer? One theory is timing. With speaking engagements, endorsement deals, and other commitments, Clark already has a packed schedule. A 10-week league could have been too long. Not to mention that Clark is said to be making an appearance during the NBA All-Star Weekend, which falls around the holiday season. Maybe she simply didn't have the time. However, scheduling isn't the only issue. Some commentators claim that Clark's decision creates more significant problems for the league as a whole. Unmatched is brand new, tested, and, let's face it, quite risky. Although the league has high hopes for a player like Clark, who has already made a name for herself in traditional basketball, the risks might have exceeded the rewards. A disappointment. Despite the allure of owning a piece of the league, the equity offer carries some dangers. After a season or two, Clark may have come to the conclusion that the potential disadvantages outweighed the promise of equity. What happens if the league doesn't succeed? Fans are devastated, of course. On social media, there is a lot of anger. Many people feel that Unrivaled deceived them through their marketing, which has left them unsatisfied and, let's be honest, furious. The league's choice to leave 2 wildcard spots open at the roster announcement further fueled the excitement after months of growing anticipation. Fans thought such positions were reserved for Clark and another important player, maybe A.A. Wilson, but when they were left empty, it seemed like a bait and switch, and now they have nothing to show for it. It's obvious that the league has some serious damage control to do, but let's not lose sight of the greater picture. One fan commented, while another tweeted, This goes beyond a single individual or league. They played their hand too soon, and Caitlin Clark was their ace. They have nothing now. Caitlin Clark's decision to refuse Unrivaled should be noted by the whole women's sports industry, since it highlights the challenges of starting a new league while having star power and bold ideas. Even though women's sports have made great strides, much more has to be done. Critics claim that Unrivaled overhyped its initial season without obtaining the necessary star power, setting themselves up for failure by largely depending on the idea that Clark will join. It will now be difficult for the league to win back her faith and show that they can be successful without her when the time is right. Given that the league is already facing challenges ahead of its January inaugural season, the consequences of Clark's decision could not be more serious for Unrivaled. As one of the most recognizable athletes in women's sports, Clark has the luxury of choosing her opportunities by declining unmatched ones, protecting her energy and reputation for next endeavors. Her supporters, however, feel that the choice was a lost chance. Although their 3-on structure is intriguing, it hasn't been played professionally without a talent like Clark to attract sponsors and spectators. Her absence leaves a clear gap, and the league is unrivaled. Many were excited to see her take on a new task. The promotional strategy's dependence on cryptic marketing and teases has backfired, leaving followers skeptical and disillusioned rather than inspiring enthusiasm. Even though it has been established that athletes like AJ Wilson and Lexi Hall lack Clark's star power, the league will need to come up with fresh strategies to draw sponsors and viewers or risk losing steam before the season even starts. Opponents question whether the league has the means and vision to be successful without Clark. However, the story is not yet over. The league's first season was supposed to be a turning point for women's basketball and a chance to showcase the top players on a brand new stage. However, their vision is in danger without Clark. Will they keep their word, or will she turn them down? Mark the beginning of the end for this massive project. Even while the $2 million offer was groundbreaking, it's crucial to keep in mind that male players in similar situations usually earn far more. Even a talented and marketable player like CL was reluctant to participate, which highlights the ongoing challenges women's sports have in getting equal exposure and the larger picture. As the dust settles, provide support. This story is clearly far from finished. A wider conversation regarding the future of women's basketball and the operation of leagues like Unrivaled has been sparked by Clark's decision. Will the league recover and show that it is sustainable? Or will this serve as a cautionary tale about the challenges of starting from scratch when developing a new sports platform? Let's take a closer look at Caitlin Clark's choice for Unrivaled, women's sports, and basketball in general. To start, we must acknowledge the breadth of what Unrivaled was trying to do, which extended beyond merely founding a league to include changing the way we think about women's basketball. They weren't wrong to aim high, to be honest. Compared to regular basketball, the NRA format is fast-paced, high-energy, and completely different. It aims to attract viewers who would not often watch sports. Imagine it as a cross between street ball and basketball, where speed and skill are more crucial than strength or size. This is a fantastic idea on paper, but it's unexplored in practice. To give it legitimacy, they needed someone like Caitlin Clark. The league would experience an identity crisis without Clark. Although they are gifted and well-respected, athletes like AL Wilson and Lexi Hall lack the same star power and widespread appeal. Clark, the league would have lost a great deal of momentum without the repercussions. Furthermore, the $2 million offer was more than just a salary. Because it offered Clark such a substantial amount of money, it was an investment. She is not merely a performer. Her mere appearance may have attracted sponsors, admirers, and media attention because she is a brand. The use of cryptic marketing is one of the primary criticisms of Unrivaled strategy. Unrivaled depended on her capacity to draw viewers and generate income. However, the league will need to find new ways to attract attention now that the investment is gone, which won't be simple. In the long run, this could damage the league's reputation because fans dislike being misled. But let's not overlook Clark's perspective. You shouldn't take declining $2 million for her lightly. There was more to this than just money. It was about safeguarding her reputation. Subtle hints, like as the 22-minute promotional video that mentioned Clark's jersey number, even though her name wasn't on the roster, gave fans the impression that she was already on board. When she joins a new and established league, her legacy and future are in jeopardy. Caitlin Clark's career is continuing flourishing in the meantime. Additionally, she is sending a message by declining Unrivaled. Instead of just hype, they want to see action. She's not only here to play basketball, she's here to leave a legacy. Clark is already one of the most well-known athletes in women's sports because to sponsorship deals like State Farm and other speaking appearances. Her decision to focus on these opportunities instead of signing with Unmatched shows that she has long-term goals in mind. Here's the thing, though. It's not just about Clark. It also concerns how her decision will affect the industry as a whole.